Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Samantha Montanero, and I'm so excited to be here with you today on this Lunch and Learn Wednesday webinar, talking about partnering with Portland bureaus and organizations for a successful event. Working with City of Portland bureaus and local community organizations for your next big event is a great way to ensure success. The right partnerships can provide very valuable resources and marketing support that will help take your event to the next level. Partnering for success. Um, I am so excited to talk about this today because I have been a marketing and events person, professional for 20 plus years, and I've been doing Portland-based community events for about 9 years. But one of the things that I am certainly most passionate about is collaboration for success. In all of my career of hosting a lot of very successful events, people have asked me that question. How did you do that? Well, I can tell you one thing. I certainly did not do it alone. Working together with others is the best way to have an amazing event because teamwork makes the dream work. So, we're going to start off today by just going over some of the bureaus and organizations. Um, After I go through this list, I'm going to open it back up here and stop sharing so that if y'all have any other bureaus or organizations that you know of that would be great to partner with, we can talk about those as well. So, if you were at our last webinar around event budgeting and permitting, we talked a lot about the City of Portland. The City of Portland is a great resource for hosting community events, especially for us in the Venture Portland Network, because we're business owners and business district leaders. The city has, obviously anything through the permitting sector is the city is going to be great to work with. And they do definitely have on their website some other resources. Before I carry on too, I will be sharing links and putting some things in the chat box throughout. I will also, after this presentation, be following up for those of you who are here live today. I'll follow up with an email to the links. So I think the City of Portland is a pretty obvious one because say you're doing a street fair and you need to close the streets, you're throwing a special event. We're going to hit a few of these organizations if you're doing something like that, actually. So I guess just carrying on down the line, if you haven't heard of Prosper Portland's event and film office, this has become one of the most valuable resources for partnering in the city. They have countless, I'm actually going to see if I can grab this link and put it in right now for those of you who are here. They have this resource page that has been so helpful to me over the years, or over the last year, because I guess this resource page maybe came out the last year or 2 years. You can see in that link that it is just filled with not only tips, but also the link to their events action table, which is a monthly event that they're hosting. They have links to all of the permitting type stuff. This is really just a great 101 resource, like event planning 101 resource for anybody in the city. It covers sidewalk, street, park, and plaza permitting, noise code variants, fire and rescue, all of that kind of stuff. They link to the public parks or pathways, waterways, insurance, food handling, alcohol services. So, y'all are looking at my list of organizations in the link that I just shared through the Prosper Portland Events and Film Office. We have all of those places that are linked in a really easy to use guide. All righty. This is just such an incredible resource. And like I was just saying, the Portland Events and Film Office.com/resources. It has links to the Portland Parks, PBOT, ODOT, OLCC, Health Department, Fire Marshal, Harbor Master. And I don't know if there might be some links in there too for the county and through TriMet as well. So with Portland Parks, Jacob, maybe you might want to share some of your thoughts too on this because I loved what you sent me for Portland Parks. We're talking about partnering with folks. Not only might you need to get a permit or something like this, but a lot of these community events, if you are throwing an event in a park, it's a great idea to reach out to them and see if there's a way that you can collaborate. I think about an event that was hosted in Foster recently. They did an event in the parks, and then in Lents, or I think in Midway, they did like a tree planting event too. And I know that they partnered with Portland Parks and also the neighborhood associations to make that a great community event. Jacob, did you have any other thoughts about the Portland Parks that would be good to share?
Yeah, so a lot of business districts don't have parks, within the central area, but it is a good option in the summertime. There's a lot of activations happening in parks. The Summer Free for All is an annual series of events. That's the movies in the park, the music in the park. So that's a great potential collaboration that you can do. Um, with the city on that to participate in those events or be a part of those events, or partnering with your neighborhood association who do a lot of events in the parks as well. I know that a lot of neighborhood associations just did Easter egg hunts and stuff like that this past weekend in parks. So it's a great opportunity to kind of get businesses in front of the community. So definitely reach out to them to see if there's options for partnering.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Thank you. Okay, so next up, we're mentioning Travel Portland a few times in this presentation because Travel Portland is an excellent resource for event collaboration. They have this link that I'm going to share with you right now, which is a resource for event organizers. Not only can you post and market your event through their calendar, but you can literally get some planning assistance through their directory. They have links to venues. I'll share some of these other resources a little bit later in the presentation as well, because we're going to go through an actual resource part of this presentation. But they are just an excellent resource. Tons of stuff in that link, and it's exciting for them to partner with anybody that's doing events in the city. We want everybody to know about it, of course, here at Venture, right? And so do you in your business districts. The more people that know about what's going on, especially if people are coming in from out of town too, how cool to be able to utilize that vast resource. So next, we're going to talk about Music Portland, and we have a special guest here from Music Portland. So Mara, I kind of just want to hand it over to you here. We have Mara here from Music Portland. They have a soon-to-release performing act directory that's designed to provide event organizers with intuitive, filterable access to thousands of musical acts and options to amplify your events. This is a resource that I am very excited to use myself. And I am excited to hand it over to you. Thanks for being here, Mara. You're muted.
I always forget. I just start talking. Yeah, it's great to have everybody here and know that there's interest. So Music Portland is, let me move this down. Come on. Okay. So Music Portland, this is the world's ugliest slideshow, but it does help to have some visuals. So Music Portland is, I think, at its core, a convener. So the idea of collaborating on anything is right in our wheelhouse. We're the only nonprofit committed to supporting the popular music ecology, which is largely sort of not included. And when you're looking at arts and culture resources and things like that. So we really realized that there was a gap that we wanted to fill. And music is a big deal here. We have more venues, twice as many as Austin or Nashville. People don't know that. We're a $3.8 billion industry in the state, with 90% of that in the greater Portland area. For-profit music employs more people in the state than cannabis, fishing, and timber. It is a massive thing, and it is a resource for business. So we have more than 10,000 unique recording acts in the Portland area, and that's not just hyperbole. CD Baby did analysis to look at Portland zip codes to see how many unique bands had released new music in the few years prior to COVID. And we're internationally recognized, so that connecting with our local independent and original music community is a great asset for local businesses. So how can music support your business? Obviously, restaurants and bars, adding a music program that's a regular, whether it's weekly or more, means that you have extended stay. There's something like a 42% quotient that we hear nationally of restaurants and bars that add a music program. During the span of those music performances, it's a 43% uptick in food and beverage sales. It increases nighttime foot traffic and public safety. It deals with social, it gives you an ongoing patron conversation that you don't have if you're just always selling great food or drink. And we're here to help. Anybody that's interested in starting a music program, please get in touch with Music Portland, and we're happy to help you navigate some of the vagaries of that process. For retailers, it is really important, and we're really excited to bring this out. Having special events in store where you're featuring a musician on a regular basis. Again, it gives you a reason to connect with your patrons. It's an enhanced customer experience, all these things. And really, we're excited with this performer directory because we've got nearly 5,000 music professionals already networked through Music Portland. We just released the performer directory last night for people to enter. Just last night. It got pushed back a little bit. So it is live, but it is, rapidly. I think I've seen 3 come in this morning. We're just really boosting it now, where all of those 5,000 are going to be coming in. Everybody's keen to do it to make sure that we bridge the gap between what music can do for you and what music has to offer, because it hasn't really been available before. So the other place where music is great is obviously business districts, sidewalk sales, and summer events. Boosting community engagement, letting your business district really become a cultural and community resource, in addition to selling, giving a festive atmosphere that people want to linger in and buy that thing they can't say no to. So it's a really great way to do that. So our solution is to create the Music Portland Performer Directory. And this is bridging the gap, giving you a way to tap into Portland's musical excellence. And it's got all these great features. Let me show you a quick demo. This is also an embeddable feature that we are going to give to Venture Portland so they can add this right onto their site. So we'd love it if you come and visit us, but you don't have to. We're putting this onto Travel Portland, Prosper Office of Events. This same data collected and accessible is what's important to us. So you can see, first of all, there's a bunch of different, there's all kinds of different bands, different genres, different things. And this, as I say, this launched last night. So it's, this is how many people immediately stepped up to do it, and they're coming in droves. So say that you're like, okay, I'm looking for original music because that's what Portland is famous for. And I'm looking for, I'm a store. So maybe I'm looking for a duo, and I sell mostly women's clothes. So I want to kind of make sure that it's a female-led performer. And for genre, I don't know. I mean, I can pick almost anything. There's all kinds of different genres. There's also a vibe statement for each of these. So you can see kind of what they do in intuitive ways. You can listen to them. You can watch videos of them. And once you click into their listing, you see more about them. You can listen to the song. You can see pictures. You can see a full bio, and then there's full booking information that tells you what you need to know to engage this artist, how to reach them, the different formats they play in. Their primary act format is 4 to 6 people, and for that, for 1 to 2 hours, you're looking at $800. But you plugged in Duo, so you understand this is a starting place, and these musicians are going to work with you to make something fit. That said, they are professionals; they deserve to be paid. So you're never going to want to offer them less than $75 or $100 per person for a set of music. This tells you how long they have to do it. This is some of the music qualities they can do. They can do amplified or acoustic. These are the kinds of things that they're good for. You can also filter on this. And then there's more links that give you how to listen, how to support, how to, all of these things. The goal is to give you all the information that you need to be able to go in and say, great, I'm looking for a hip hop. I'm looking for a hip hop or a gospel or a something. And, hopefully this shows you it's got lots of flexibility with an expanding list of participants in it. So there is that. I know my time is short and I don't want to overstay my welcome. But the one other thing that I will raise is that in addition to bringing music to you, and if anybody hits this system, because it's brand new, and has a suggestion, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have you go, you know what, it'd be really great if you did this. Because our goal was to create, there are lots of systems that support people within the music community. What we wanted to do was to create something intuitive for people whose business isn't music, but who want to add music. And so if there are things about it that anybody is seeing and going, I don't know what to do with that. I don't really understand that. Come back to us, because you guys are going to be in some ways our test critters, really making sure that we're solving the problems that you have. The one other thing I'm going to raise is that Music Portland is also doing a thing called City Sessions. We are working with, let's see. So this is specifically for downtown, but we are working, this is not a terrible looking deck. This is talking about the problems that exist across the city. And, they've done a lot of work to clear out downtown, but they're not replacing it with anything. So now it's just a bunch of empty streets that don't feel inviting or safe. So what we're doing is creating a perpetual music festival downtown and across the city with professional performances of bands in specific places. We have it in all, it's clustered in downtown because they really need the help, but there are spaces. We work with PBOT after a really successful pilot program last year. So it is happening across the city. And then there's also, all of these amazing features. This is not sticking a bad performer or a bucket drummer in front of your store and driving customers away for 6 hours. This is really about saying, how do we work with local businesses to create compelling experiences so that nobody ever comes away from a Portland music event going, yeah, it was okay, but I didn't like the band. I mean, we have such incredible excellence here. Whatever you want, it's the world's greatest smorgasbord. And I want businesses to really be able to engage and benefit from it in this very, very cool way. And that's me, mic drop.
This is so cool. Thank you so much. I'm a musician, and actually Rose Gerber, who you used as an example, I've played with her a few different times.
Isn't she
Totally
fantastic?
a friend. Yeah,
Oh,
she's great.
yeah,
And that
I
makes
love
me
it. And
excited.
how great would it be to have like a business district thing and have Rose playing? People would come from,
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing about this. And I just really appreciate this resource. And like you were talking about, the ability to really like get exactly what you're looking for. That's the best part about this, because it's so tough. And, funny enough, I'm working on an event for Historic Park Rose, and we need to curate the music. And I'm like, I wish I had this to right now.
Oh, you get it right now. Like here, I'll put
I'm gonna go in there and submit my
Understand
band in
it
there.
is- Yeah, it has the fresh resource smell for
Right.
sure.
That's so cool. Yeah, please
But
link it, and
yeah,
thanks
but
again.
you bet.
It's just a fantastic resource. And, you know, kind of going back to it here, folks, I'm gonna go back to sharing here. You know, partnering with bands and other resources like that with with the music piece is a really great way to make your event awesome. So, okay, I'm gonna kind of zip through the rest of this. I mean, I feel like a lot of these are kind of obvious as to what they can offer. There is a link to, at the end of the presentation, I'll give you links to the past webinar because we really went through specifically these other bureaus for like permitting and these kinds of things of like when you're gonna want to work with them and why. And like I shared, that Prosper Portland Events and Film Office link has a great explanation too of how, when, and why some of these other organizations you would want to participate with. So yeah. Okay, next up, funding and grants. With hosting an event, we all know that the money on the front dictates what you're able to do, especially for business district events. Typically, these events are not ticketed. So there are some really great grant resources that are available here. I can go ahead and copy and paste these in the link here. Okay. Yeah, there's some really incredible stuff here. Prosper Portland is not linked right now because their community event grant cycle has closed for now, but Prosper often has grants available for event planning. So that's just a great resource. Travel Portland has not only grants, but they also do sponsorships. And I think that brings me to, I mean, at the bottom of this list here, I have corporate sponsorships. Creating those types of partnerships where, you know, an organization like Travel Portland or even like Bank of America, right? Like a lot of times banks, credit unions, kind of big chains, they get involved with supporting local events in a way that's really cool. I love working with, we have a credit union that we work with sometimes in Historic Park Rose, and a couple other banks too. And, you know, it's a great way to get funding, but there are lots of grants available. Obviously, Venture Portland, we have lots of grants available every year. We do, Jacob, we do 3 grant cycles per year. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we'll do 3 this year. We did 3 last year. We typically do spring and fall, but this year we're doing spring, summer, and fall. So we just wrapped up our spring round, and there'll be another round announced probably in June or July. So keep a lookout for that one.
Great, thank you. The Office of Civic Life has some small grants opportunities through the city of Portland. I don't know if they have something open right now. So it looks like they don't have anything open right now, but I'm sure it looks like their last grant cycle opened in September of 2023. So I'm assuming there will be another cycle that will open later this summer. Metro has some great grants, community placemaking events, or community placemaking grants. I see the next cycle opens in August 2024. And we have the Travel Oregon Grants Program. So there's lots of different organizations that are interested in, you know, not only supporting community-based events, but really the goal at the end of the day is to drive people here to Oregon, to Portland, and to your business district and to your business. So utilize those those resources because they're certainly very, very helpful. And yeah, I think the corporate sponsorships, we talked in the last webinar a little bit about funding as well through sponsorships and collaborations. So I will link those things here at the end. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and just kind of push pause before carrying on to see if anyone has any that I may have missed. Is there any organizations that anybody knows of that they've found to be valuable? Nana? Can't
Okay, there I am.
you are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so PBOT does have the lending library. So for events that you're taking on that maybe you need a tent or you need some just furniture for that day of event. If it's chairs, they even have different types of games like Jenga and like large Connect Four. They have a lot of things in the lending library. And actually, I will see if I can put the link in here, but
Great.
it's through the Portland Bureau of Transportation. So I think it's a really great resource for those of you thinking for events in the summer and how to get those equipments that you need.
Thank you, Nana. I always forget about that resource. That's exciting. That is so exciting to think about for summer events. Yeah, sometimes, getting those 4x4 or the 10x10 pop-up tents can be tough, and like tables and chairs and whatever else too. I don't know what they all have in there, but I look forward to seeing. Thank you so much. And is there anybody else that has any ideas that I may have missed? And it's okay if not. You can feel free to just plop things in the chat box too if there's something that you think of. So, okay, let's go back to the presentation. I want to talk a little bit about marketing partners. Okay, so half of the lift of an event is getting people to show up. And partnering, the more collaborators that you can have on board to market your event, the better. I owned a company called Tokativity, which is a women's networking and event group specifically for women in cannabis and plant medicine all around the world. And we grew really fast and went from hosting like 20-person workshops to hosting like 300-person events in cities all over. And people have asked a lot of times, how did you do that? Collaborating with as many people as possible is how we did that. We worked with, the venues, the musicians. We had guests of all different kinds. And to, I guess, make it a little bit more relatable to this, for example, the Summer Nights event that I'm working on for Historic Park Rose, it's a street fair. It's, there's live music, there's food trucks, there's drinks, there's henna and caricatures and a circus setup and all kinds of fun things for family-friendly activities. Now, before I go through some of these other resources, simply getting your layout and your plan together, knowing who all of your collaborators are, and then creating a post, graphic, and then the body copy, and sharing it with all of them again and again and again, doing the work for them and then giving it to them to share on their platforms is a really great way to be partnering with the people that you're working with and getting the best ROI on your marketing efforts. Because if everybody has those assets, it makes it very easy for them to share and to market. So let's see here, going into the list. Neighborhood associations are a really wonderful partner for us in business districts around the city for events. Obviously, the neighborhood associations are interested in encouraging community building of all kinds in each district. So make sure you hit up your neighborhood association and see if they want to maybe table at their event, or is there a way that you could be co-marketing this event to reach everybody? Obviously, the people who live and work in your district are going to be the people that are going and spending money at the businesses. So, and at the end of the day, that's kind of the goal of bringing people into the business districts, is to just stimulate that local economy. The more people that know about it going on, the better. Eventbrite is a great platform to use, or Facebook event. We'll get a little bit more into Facebook, but using ticketing platforms that market internally are wonderful partners for anybody playing an event anywhere. When you can select, I think, some options around whether your event is public, is like put into the circuit of marketed events via Eventbrite. But I have to tell you, I've absolutely found out about events that I've attended simply through Eventbrite. So you know, I think sometimes when we're having registration, if you're having a free event, you know, it's kind of like, well, why would I use a ticketing platform if I'm doing like a street fair or something like this? But by using this, you're getting that additional marketing support. It's not even necessarily about collecting those RSVPs. It's more about making sure that everybody knows about what you're doing. Facebook is an incredible resource for marketing. You know, I think that's kind of a no-brainer. I'm sure we're all pretty familiar with it at this point, but you know, just really make sure that you have a Facebook event for everything you're doing. The ability to customize how you're digitally marketing to folks in the neighborhood is pretty incredible for Facebook. You can choose the radius of miles around the location of the event to market to, and you can put some advertising dollars behind that. They go a really long way. Even $50 for a local event and heavily targeting the folks right around you, you're gonna see that ROI. They're gonna see it, and they're gonna, you know, people want to be able to walk to something going on. So it's a really great resource. PDX Pipeline and Do 503. Those are two local websites that you should be listing your events with. They do an incredible job of marketing local stuff, and they both have really great options for deeper collaboration if you have a budget. But I know that they do have some free options too, and reaching out to some of these organizations, also like Willamette Week, you know, they can sometimes, if it's like really mutually beneficial, they might sponsor it. You never know. So it's always good to ask. Venture Portland is a really great resource for marketing support. I love sharing. I do our social media at Venture Portland, and I really love sharing the events going on all around the city. So if you are doing an event and marketing an event, please make sure to tag us. I will absolutely reshare that. And occasionally, we do, you know, in our emails, or I'll put together an actual dedicated post of events coming up. So that's something you can email me for too. I will share this later, but I just want you all to have my email. Definitely a great resource for you to support the events that you're planning. Nextdoor is an awesome website that probably most of you are on too, or not familiar with, as community builders and as local business folks. They have some event options through there too. I have used it. I think I haven't been on there personally in a little while, but I know that when I was organizing a community event in Park Rose, that they had kind of a similar thing as Facebook, where you can actually create an event and then market it to the local community there. Just making posts on that too. It's a really great way to reach your neighbors. I already mentioned Willamette Week. They've got, you know, and the Portland Mercury. They both have really, obviously they're just getting out information to the communities. I love that. Okay, thank you. PDX Parent has become a cool resource that I've been paying more attention to for local events. I love following their Instagram. They do a really good job of keeping up with that, but on their website, they also have some cool things. If it's a family-friendly event, I highly recommend partnering with them and seeing how you can work together. For me as a mom, it's become a really cool resource. And last up, Instagram collaborators, which I just put on there because Instagram is a really great, I think, a great way to find local collaborators. The way that I would go about it is a few different ways. One, you can search hashtags on Instagram. So say you just put in like Portland event, Portland, Oregon event hashtag, and you click through all the different posts, you're gonna see people doing events, and then you're gonna see who they're collaborating with. So, just doing your own research of like kind of going down the Instagram rabbit hole of like, what are other districts using? That is a great way to go about it too. You can go to other business association Instagrams and see who they're collaborating with. Who's sponsoring stuff, who's showing up at stuff. Sometimes there's, especially for these bigger organizations, you're going to see Prosper Portland and Venture Portland on nearly all of them, and then sometimes City of Portland or Travel Portland or other organizations. But when we're talking about, sponsorships and just collaborating in general with different organizations, see who other people are working with and see if they want to work with you too. So next up, resources. Obviously, this entire webinar is essentially about resources, but there are some specific ones that I wanted to go over. I'm going to post a link two links right now to the 2 past webinars that I've hosted here for the Lunch and Learn Wednesdays. There's great resources in both of those for your event planning, and just partnering, because again, at the end of the day, in probably every single webinar that I ever give, I'm going to talk about collaboration and partnering for success, because again, it's just the best way to make it happen. You share the load and have a lot of fun doing it. So I shared this before, but the Portland Events and Film Office is just such an amazing resource for supporting event producers. The resources really do focus around safe, successful events that positively impact the city. And it does streamline a lot of the hard work the Portland bureaus do. It makes it like really easy to digest and find what you're looking for. I will put that in again. And then I have not been to this, but I really want to go now. The Events Action Table is a monthly online gathering. This is hosted for Portland's event industry. And these meetings feature invited presenters. There's roundtable discussions, and there's a chance for new folks to introduce themselves and share resources. I had never heard of this actually until I was doing some research for this presentation, and I stumbled across it. So I can't wait to go to this. From what I understand, everybody is welcome to attend. And it seems like it's just an incredible spot to make sure that we're finding out about everything going on in the city of Portland around events. And the last resource that has just been so, oh, cool, I see, is on 4/19. Thanks, Michelle. The next in-person meeting, 4/19. So Travel Portland has 2 major resources through their site that I've been using myself in curating events. They have their general, the 2 links I just shared, the information for event organizers, their event calendar, literally planning assistance. They have a venue finder. You can request sponsorships through them. And they also have a resource guide they have a link to the resource guide from the Events and Film Office. The service directory has become one of my favorite resources for hosting events in Portland because they have everything in this. You can see in this link accessibility services, audio visual production, catering, childcare, destination management, entertainment, event enhancements, like amazing decor and ideas for that kind of stuff, event production and support, rentals, security. I mean, it just keeps going. They're such a great resource for this. So I see. Thank you. Thanks for that link. All righty. So let me get here. That is an overview on different bureaus and organizations and resources for collaborating for a successful event. Here's my contact information again, and I'm here to support you guys. This is going to be an exciting year of amazing events in Portland. It's time to party. So excited for all the things that are coming down the pipeline. I'm going to stop sharing now, and if we have a little bit of time here for any questions and further collaborations, if anybody has things that they want to share about what's worked for them in collaborating too, I would love that. I see Tanya's here. Tanya produces a lot of events in St. John's. I don't know if you have any thoughts, Tanya?
Thoughts. No, what's nice, in St. John's, we've been able to solidify our events where we're going on our third year of the spring fling. We're going on our third year of the fall fling and our third year of the ugly sweater events. So it's like people are actually asking in advance and they're looking forward to it. And then we try to make sure to mix it up and spice it up with each one by adding a little more. And so what was happening 3 years ago is like threefold what's happening this year. I mean, like I literally had to go out in the plaza where we have, all the tables, and I had to measure everything out, last week in order to make sure we had enough space for everybody that's going to be there. So I guess consistency with spice is something that is working well at St. John's.
Consistency with spice. I love it. You bring up such a good point too, because when you form these partnerships and then we're going to do this next year, like those established collaborations just strengthen over time. And then, like you said, you're able to add on more every year. And eventually it just becomes something that has its own legs and its own marketing, like amplification because of the excitement around it. So that's so awesome. Yeah, you're doing really great work there, and I'm excited for the future events. Does anybody have any questions or anything else that they would like to share before we wrap up? Let's see.
I just had a question just about timeline. So summer's coming up really quick. It's already April, and a lot of events people are probably planning are happening in June, July, August. So I wonder if you just give us an idea of, I'm assuming partnerships come first, then marketing, but how far in advance should you approach someone about partnering for an event? And then how far in advance before the actual event happens should you be marketing it to be successful?
Yeah, well, I think as far as partnerships go, the sooner the better. When I have an event idea and I'm starting to formulate it, the next step is actually putting together the partnerships. And, those partnerships ensure that you have what you need to even execute your event. So ASAP. I mean, I feel like once you have your concrete idea and your date, even if you don't have your venue, but like even a general date, because sometimes these folks can come on board and you can be co-producing it, and sharing the load of that. So, I think the sooner the better. Obviously, for like sponsorships or something like this, you're going to need to have your information dialed in before you're going to them to ask them if they're sponsoring it. Because if you don't know when and where you're having an event, it's, you don't want to seem like, well, I don't really know, but if you give us money, we'll figure it out. It's like you want to have a plan, and then a really cool plan that's like, you want in on this, Um, so yeah, I think the sooner is the better as far as partnerships go. Marketing is also a similar concept. The sooner the better, but I guess I'll just speak to like currently what's going on with Historic Park Rose, because this is a district event that is happening on July 10th. So actually today our vendor registration opened, and so we have save the dates going out today. So as far as your marketing strategy goes, for us, it's like a combo of the vendor registration and finding those partnerships, finding all of those collaborators, but then it's also a public facing save the date, and just getting people excited. And something else that we're doing for our marketing strategy is we're resharing a lot of the content we captured last year. Hey, remember Summer Nights last year when this juggler was doing this awesome thing, or this band was playing, or remember those, remember those amazing Indian fry bread tacos that I can't wait to eat again. Oh my gosh, I miss those tacos. But getting people excited, feeling nostalgic about the year before if they were there before, giving people a taste of what you did if they weren't there before. And if you haven't done the event before, if this is a new year, getting creative on how you can just paint the picture for what people are going to expect, to create it to be something that people don't want to miss, that they're marking their calendars for now. Summer gets booked up so fast. We're feeling really excited about Summer Nights this year because it's in July, and I think last year we started marketing it at the end of May. So for us to start marketing it the first week of April is really exciting to think about how much bigger the event will be because of that additional, like really like 6 weeks of, people marking their calendars and, oh, I love that event every year. Maybe we'll go camping the next weekend instead of, or whatever. Like people are really coming up with their plans right now for summer camps, travels, and time that they do want to be in Portland because of the fun things happening here. So I hope that's helpful. And do we have any other questions, comments? I really do want to hear from anybody else too. Blessed, I see you're here. I don't know if you want to share any things that you have learned along the way for planning events in Williams. Laura, same with you. It's okay if you're not in a space to share, but
Looks like Daniela has her hand up.
cool. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Daniela, get
Sorry,
over here.
my Wi-Fi sucks, so I'm not doing the video. But so I'm on the very, very early stage of trying to look at for next year to do like a job fair for high schoolers in the Neva district. So talking about collaboration, do you have any ideas of how to collaborate with high school? What will be good to go, what to do to start that kind of conversation with them?
Yes, absolutely. We work with the high school on a few different events that we do in Park Row, so I have a little bit of experience with this. I think the first time I reached out, I literally just went to their website and called the office and was like, hey, this is who I am. We're looking to get, high schoolers involved with this project or with this event. And can you connect us? And that's a really great first place to start. I know that the public schools have certain ways that information has to go out. They can distribute paper flyers. They can send kids home with stuff if it is during the school year. But I know you need a time ramp for that. And I'm sure every school is going to be a little bit different there. But I would literally start by just reaching out to you know, the main office and just asking for the point of contact that's going to be best for that. Something that we also do is getting yard signs, and we'll put them in school zones. So I know sometimes you can't actually put it on school property unless you get permission. But if you are going to be, I mean, sounds like for what you're talking about doing, to do a job fair specifically for teenagers, this is something that I could see a school really getting on board with and being like, oh yeah, we want, you know, we want to partner with you on this. And maybe they will let you put actual yard signs or posters in the front doors of the school so that you're really able to reach them. I hope that's helpful.
Yes, yes, definitely. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. And it's like always that kind of thing of like, you know, you don't know until you ask. So like if you're, you know, doing something that's geared towards a specific group, like you were just saying, the high schoolers, or for us with summer nights, we do a lot of stuff for younger kids. So we really do, thank you. We really do reach out to the schools early on. Like that's on my to-do list for next week of helping plan the Park Rose event. We want the kids to know ASAP. We want their parents to know ASAP. And we want to partner with them in general because they have all kinds of cool programs going on through the schools that can work together, or students. You know, when students can get involved too, it's like such an amazing way to connect with your community and encourage the next generation of event planners and business district leaders. So yeah, that's great. It makes me feel excited for the year ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Laura.
So I think for us, you know, doing think outside the box events have really helped. I have a cultural melting pot here in Midway. So for Halloween, we did a treat tour and we started it at mostly Asian businesses. And Halloween is not something that's celebrated in Asia. And so they said, okay, well, we're going to provide Asian treats and then you provide your treats. And then we're going to do, you know, kind of do a collaboration of cultures, and it seemed to really work and people were really excited. And Fin Cafe was where we hosted it, and then we extended it to the other businesses in the strip center, which in that quadrant of the shopping center, they're all Asian. We had treat boxes and they each featured a treat from their country, China, Vietnam, and it was really cool to see the collaboration of the cultures, and it was really fun. And people got a discount if they came in costume, and people even brought their animals, and so that was really a lot of fun to be able to mix the cultures. And we're doing more of those type of events. So really, it's like think outside the box for us to be able to get people to come in.
I love that feedback, Laura. You really hit the nail on the head too, of just like, what does collaboration look like, right? Just because something doesn't seem like it's an exact, like, you know, say, oh, these are the same thing, so this would be a good fit. Getting creative on how you're bringing people together it always works. It's really fun. That's great. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Really appreciate you, and happy event planning.